Welcome back to Shasta Speedway. Cars are rolling here for the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173 presented by the West Coast Stock Car Motorsports Hall of Fame. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup. We've already heard from Trevor Huddleston. He will roll from the pole here tonight. Mason Massey, who won at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway, will start alongside. Cole Denton, last race winner at Tucson Speedway, will start third alongside Robbie Keneally in fourth. Andrew Chapman alongside Joey East back there in row three. Haley Deegan and Kenemich, an all-female row there in row four. Julian DaCosta and Eric Johnson Jr. back there in row five. Mia Lovell and Tyler Tomasi round out the top 12. There's Gavin Ray and Alonzo Salinas back there in row seven. And how about it, our hero David Smith there starting 15th tonight alongside Josiah Rayom back there rounding out our 16 car starting lineup. We're going to go 173 laps. That's the distance here tonight. We'll see a break at or around, it says halfway, but that break will be at or around lap 73. And of course, if we do have to go into overtime tonight, we will have unlimited attempts at a green, followed by white, followed by checkered. If the caution comes out after the white flag is displayed, we will have unlimited attempts at a green and white together, followed by checkered flag overtime attempt. Shasta Speedway here in Anderson, California, opened, we don't really know. The history doesn't go back that far. Sometime in the 1940s. It is currently 3/8 of a mile. The ARCA Menards Series West, the cornerstone event here at Shasta Speedway. Of course, this race run in memory of a four-time ARCA Menards Series West champion, Bill Schmitt. His son, Steve, is the track operator here at Shasta Speedway. So a lot of West Series history kind of embodied into this 3/8 of a mile short track. Nathan Prouty alongside Charlie Krall. And Nathan, I'll tell you what, Trevor Huddleston has got to love what he sees out the windshield coming to green here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The defending champion in the ARCA Menards Series West division, leading the field to green. As mentioned, he was the only driver to hit the 15-second bracket from qualifying, but he's got a tough competitor to his right elbow of Mason Massey, and then that row directly behind him, row two, has Cole Denton and Robbie Keneally. He's got some heavy hitters all around him here as we get set, as you see the one to go signal being given here, this time by the line.
Joe Contreras on the flag stand giving the one to go. Trevor Huddleston alongside Mason Massey. Massey picked up the win at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway in his first career ARCA Menards West start. Cole Denton, winner last time out at Tucson, will go from third. Robbie Keneally looking to get back on track in fourth. Trevor Huddleston bringing them slowly through turns 3 and 4. And folks, you know what time it is. It is that time. It is time to rock, roll, and rumble here at Shasta. Green flag in the air. We are racing in the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173.
Good launch by both drivers on the front row. Huddleston in that bright pink and blue 50 machine downstairs. Mason Massey hanging strong on his right side as they complete lap one. It's going to be Massey at the line by a couple of inches. He leads lap one.
The bottom groove of this racetrack, the bottom lane, by far the preferred groove, but Mason Massey doing a nice job there, and I bet you he's going to bank that information as we see the caution flag coming out here early in the going. One lap in the books and the caution flag out for the first time here tonight.
Caution flag one on lap number one, or lap number two, as Trevor Huddleston and Mason Massey were going at it as they were coming to the line to complete lap number one. And the 72 machine looks like he may be the reason for the yellow flag flying. A little slow off the pace.
There's Josiah Rayom out of Highlands, British Columbia. The Rayom Brothers Racing Engineering Chevrolet. This is his first ever ARCA Menards West start. Apparently Josiah finding some problems here on lap one. Let's take a look at the point standings after 3 races. Trevor Huddleston leapfrogging past Mason Massey. Trevor had a night in the top 5 at Tucson. Mason kind of played the tire strategy game. It bit him a little bit there at the end. He finished outside the top 10, so he drops out of the point lead, but just 5 back. Haley Deegan, Eric Johnson Jr., and Tucson winner Cole Denton rounding out the top 5. Any one of those drivers could come out of here leading if things go their way, and other drivers have a little bit of bad luck here tonight. So still very tight up at the top of the points here after 3 of the 13 races that make up the 2026 season. So we got a lap in the books, and I'll tell you what, I said it, and I think we're going to see it here on this restart. Mason Massey, I bet you he's going to bank that information. Let's see if he can make that outside lane work one more time on this restart and lead him across the start-finish line. Pace truck back down into the infield, and we'll come back to green. Let's see if we can string some green flag laps here as we go back under the green flag here at Shasta Speedway. Huddleston leading him back down into turn 1.
That was a better jump there by Huddleston. Some contact between him and Mason Massey, but Huddleston able to clear Massey off turn 2. He'll take away the race lead. Mason Massey, a little love tap in turn 4, but that's how aggressive you have to be on these restarts, Charlie. He had to get down to the inside to protect that inside lane and not lose more positions.
Here's a good look as the field chases Trevor Huddleston down the backstretch, and you're going to see a lot of that bumping and running through the corners here, just inches apart on a very tight 3/8 mile bull ring here at Shasta Speedway. There's a good look at Andrew Chapman in the 55, the team car to Trevor Huddleston. Great early run for Andrew Chapman in that 55. He's got Robbie Keneally to his outside, and there is Haley Deegan. We already heard from Haley here tonight. A lot of energy in her camp as she makes her return to the ARCA Menards Series West. Of course, she picked up her first victory back in 2019, picked up a couple of more in 2020. Haley Deegan, the first ever female winner in the ARCA Menards Series West, looking to get back to victory lane here tonight. She sits 5th. Just into tonight's Bill Schmitt Memorial 173.
And right there shows how important it is to get to the bottom of the racetrack. That bottom lane is going to be the preferred way around this track, especially on the early goings of a run. It may widen out. The groove may widen out as the run goes longer, but Keneally could not get to the bottom. He drops anchor outside the top 5 as we watch a fierce battle for the top spot.
And you can see a lot of character in the racing surface here at Shasta Speedway. Watch the suspension work on these cars down the backstretch, right through the bumps, down the backstretch, right about there, and there's some sparks off the front of that number 50 car for Trevor Huddleston. Look at this battle for position, just outside, just inside the top 10, I should say. There's Eric Johnson Jr. Look at those 2 Nitro Motorsports teammates, Mia Love and Julian DaCosta going at it. Julian in the 25, Mia in the 15. And I'll tell you what, Nathan, it's been a tough start to the season for those 2 drivers. They've actually run into each other on the racetrack the first couple of races of this season. They have been almost inseparable on the racetrack the first 3 races of 2026.
And right behind those 2 teammates is a great side-by-side battle. You have Gavin Ray in the number 7, and then Kenna Mitchell in that number 13. You can already see the rotor starting to glow on the Toyota Camry for Kenna Mitchell, and a little bit of tire rub on that left rear. You can see the General Tire lettering scraped off as we turn our attention back to the race lead at the front of the field.
Still a long ways to go, but I'll tell you what, every one of these drivers would love to be the one out there setting the pace and leading laps, and that is exactly what Mason Massey would like to do as they catch Josiah Rayome there down the backstretch. Josiah with a big handful. That car's not handling the way he wants it to, and Mason had to kind of get out of the throttle right there, but he has been very aggressive working the back bumper of that 50 car. Massey would like to get up there, collect that bonus point, and start logging some laps in the lead as we see the caution lights coming on one more time. Second caution flag of the night here at Shasta Speedway.
Great patience there by Mason Massey, too. We saw some contact being made to the back bumper. That's just a little love tap saying, hey, I'm here. Just letting you know that I'm behind you and we're battling for the race lead. That may get a little bit more aggressive the longer this race goes on if those 2 stay attached at the hip like they just were there in the opening parts of this race, as the second caution is in the air here for the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173.
And Josiah Rayome in that 72 car. That car not at all handling the way he would like it to, and he has unfortunately been a part of the first 2 caution flags of the night here at Shasta Speedway. Trevor Huddleston scored as the leader as we take a look at what happened to put us under the second caution flag of the night. Keep an eye on that 72 car. Ooh, look at that. Not only up out of the groove, but up into the outside wall, right at you. How about that race car in your face there off of turn 2?
A lot of damage to the right front of that Reub number 72, and he's able to pull away and keep it rolling. But as you mentioned, Charlie, just not the handling underneath him that he wanted to start this race. We saw him have a big moment right in front of the race leaders before he brought out that second caution, and he was able to stay out of the way, and now he has gone back to the garage area. So some work to be done before he can rejoin the racetrack.
Appreciate you joining us on a very busy night of racing. ARCA Night in America live here on Flow Racing, simulcast on the NASCAR channel. Of course, Max Reeves kicking things off with a dominant victory at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, the ARCA Menards East Cookout Music City 150. We're going to close it down, the second half of the doubleheader, the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173, presented by the West Coast Stock Car Motorsports Hall of Fame right here at Shasta Speedway. All right, do you know your history? In 2012 and 2013, this driver became the first and so far only champion in both the East and West. All right, Nathan, how well do you know your ARCA Menards East and West history there?
I have a couple names in mind to go back and do some digging in my head, but I think I have an idea of who it might be, but we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing.
I'll let you guys mull on that one for a little bit. There's a couple of candidates, I think, that are prime names to be the first and only East and West champion. Green flag back in the air. Let's see what Huddleston does down into turns 1 and 2. And now let's see what Cole Denton does. Will Cole Denton give Mason Massey a break and allow him to get back in line? Massey will clear. Well, he's not going to elect to drop down into line. He's going to try to work that outside groove a little more there. Thankfully, he had a little room, but boy, they're still very racy here early on, just 23 laps into it. And these drivers fighting for position like we're in the final 23 laps.
A couple of good side-by-side battles ongoing here just outside of the top, or just inside the top 5, excuse me. Andrew Chapman and Haley Deegan, a big mover here so far. Deegan has now gone from 7th up into 4th, so she's on the march. And then another side-by-side battle. This one is just outside the top 5.
Joey East in the 88, the Mike Nake owned number 88. He's got Robbie Keneally out to his right elbow there through turn 1 and 2. Of course, this number 88 team picked up a win a couple of years ago with Dylan Capello down at the Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Always competitive with Joey East behind the wheel as well. Joey trying to work his way back up into the top 5. But he's got a very hungry Robbie Keneally to his outside. Robbie had a very tough start to the season, transmission issues at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. Saw him finish way back in the 20th position. Rebounded to finish 10th at Phoenix and then finished 4th down at Tucson last time out. Right now, Robbie, the elevator going the wrong way. He's going to lose a couple of positions there. There's Eric Johnson Jr. looking at his inside. Eric Johnson Jr. going to try to race his way past Joey East as well. A little contact there off of turn 2.
They got really tight, a lap to go between Joey East and Robbie Keneally. Keneally might not be too pleased with that move. He got pinched into the outside wall off of turn 2, and there was some contact between Eric Johnson Jr. and East. So some really fierce racing here inside the top 10 as they all battle for position. And now here's Eric Johnson Jr. taking a peek again to the inside in turn 3.
Eric has been very aggressive here in the early going. He started 10th. And on this tight, flat little bull ring, you know, you really have to work hard to pick up these positions. He's picked up a short handful of positions already as you see the sparks shower off the exhaust down the backstretch there. Eric Johnson Jr. already up to 7th here in the early going. There's Haley Deegan feeling some heat there from Cole Denton. Haley has moved her way up into the 3rd position. So the 16 car out of the Bill McAnally Racing Stables looking really solid here in the early going. We've got Trevor Huddleston in the lead, but the 2 Bill McAnally Racing cars 2nd and 3rd with Mason Massey and Haley Deegan. That team very good early going here.
And she still has about 8 or 10 car lengths between her and this battle right here. This is the ongoing fight for the race lead. Trevor Huddleston started first. He's led them all so far. But for the majority of all those laps run under green, Charlie, he has had Mason Massey just breathing down his neck, stalking his every move.
You see that smoke off of the 50 car. I don't think that is anything that you need to be overly concerned with. The engine package that Trevor Huddleston runs, the Yates spec engine, that engine it does tend to put out a little bit of smoke every time the drivers roll out of the throttle. We've seen that particularly out of that number 50 car just about every time we race at night over the course of the last couple of seasons. So nothing to be overly concerned with as you do see that smoke. But in any case, Trevor Huddleston building about the biggest lead we've seen him have all night long so far. There's a good battle for position. Alonso Salinas trying to work his way past Tyler Tomasi. Tomasi, as a matter of fact, just moving past Salinas that time around to pick up that position. Alonso Salinas in that Joe Nava owned, excuse me, no, that is the number 51 car. That's Tyler Tomasi right there, the Jonathan Rayom owned number 51. Alonso Salinas and the Joe Nava owned number 77. A good look down the back stretch. There's the battle for the lead off into turns 3 and 4. Field streaming down the back straightaway. One of the most historic short tracks in the state of California.
It's been impressive to watch these two battle for the race lead. I mean, Trevor Huddleston, he takes a peek in the mirror coming off the corner. He can basically see the white in Mason Massey's eyes down the straightaway. And Mason's playing nice. I think right now they're evenly matched. I don't think one's that much faster than the other. And Mason's just being patient. He could very well easily drive it in deep and shove Huddleston up out of the groove, but he's not doing that just quite yet as these two continue to fight for position as well, as they've already made some contact earlier and they make some more off turn 4.
Robbie Keneally trying to work his way past Joey East. These two have been going at it for just about the last 30 laps. These two have traded position a couple of times, and you see the tires, the lettering rubbed off the left rear of the 88 car and off the left front of the number 1 car. These two have been into each other a couple of times, and right now Robbie Keneally digging hard on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to drive it in deep. Look at that left front rotor glowing. Ooh, you see he had to turn it to the right there a little bit. He drove it in so hard. And Keneally wanting to work his way past Joey East. He sees Eric Johnson Jr. and the rest of the top 5 driving away from him, and he wants to get up there and start to try to track those drivers down. You know, we talked about the increase in the lap count here. This race has been a 150 lap race. In most recent years, we've added 23 laps to the 173 lap distance here tonight. But again, they're ticking off in a very rapid pace right now. And Robbie Keneally trying to stay patient, but he also sees those drivers driving away from him, and he wants to get up there and track them down. And as a matter of fact, there you see the leaders now working their way off of turns 3 and 4. So he is about a half a track behind right now. Keneally half a lap behind this battle for the lead between Trevor Huddleston and Mason Massey.
And it's a frustrated Robbie Keneally, I'm sure, underneath that helmet. Started 4th, and on the initial drop of the green flag, he just could not get the car to the bottom of the racetrack. Kind of got freak trained as he was stuck up on the outside groove, that middle groove, and he's been drop kicked outside the top 5. Now rebounded. He is riding in 7th, and as we speak, we were watching that ongoing battle for the race lead, and Mason Massey was right there filling every inch of the rearview mirror of Trevor Huddleston, but now Huddleston has really begun to open it up. It's over 3 car lengths now as they work again down the back straightaway.
Yeah, this has been the modus operandi of Trevor Huddleston in recent years. Anytime he can start close to the front of the field and that car gets out front, you will see him just methodically work his way inch by inch, car length by car length, very smooth behind the wheel of that number 50 car. Right now, that car handling exactly the way he wants it. Jeff Schrader and that team giving him exactly what he was looking for. There is a great battle for position between Mia Lovell in the 15 and Kenna Mitchell in the 13 car. And Kenna's number 13, Nathan, already showing some battle scars on the left side of that car.
Yeah, she has had some contact made against her 13 Toyota Camry as she eyes up the 10th position Lovell down the back straightaway into turn 3, and what a move, what a pass. She goes to the bottom of the racetrack. She completes that pass for position, and you can move Kenna Mitchell to the 10th spot on the racetrack.
Yeah, that was a very nice pass for position right there, and it could be one of the contenders for the Reese's Sweet Move of the Race here tonight. Don't forget, folks, you can log on to ARCARacing.com Monday, 3 o'clock Eastern time to see who picks up tonight's Reese's Sweet Move of the race. Now the battle on between teammates, Mia Lovell and Julian DaCosta. Mia in the 15, Julian in the number 25. You know, Julian had some issues coming off of turn 2 at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway, bounced off the wall and collected his teammate. And then the exact opposite happened at Phoenix Raceway. Mia had some problems and collected Julian. So those two have been just car lengths apart from one another just about the entire season long. And unfortunately, when you're running that close with your teammates, sometimes problems happen and you get collected in something that's none of your doing. Hopefully those two tonight put a nice clean race together. Right now, both of them just outside the top 10 in those two Nitro Motorsports entries. There is Trevor Huddleston stretching out that advantage inch by inch over Mason Massey. And there's that battle between the two Nitro Motorsports teammates. Mia putting the left sides down in the grass right there in turn 3.
And speaking of two other teammates, we had Trevor Huddleston, the race leader, and then Andrew Chapman in the number 55, two teammates for High Point Racing Race Car Factory, both inside the top 5 right now, so a strong showing from them here in the early goings of this one. But yeah, this is a great battle just outside the top 10, and you talked about how these two teammates have not been able to shake each other all year, and it's just going to continue to build with frustration not having the night or the run that they've wanted to have here so far, battling for a spot outside the top 10. And it's a fierce battle at that, just a couple of car lengths between the two. It continues to accordion, and I think that there's been some contact already between the two tonight.
They're about to face some heat from leader Trevor Huddleston. Trevor setting a torrid pace here in the closing in on the middle stages of the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173. There is the leader, Trevor Huddleston, just a couple of car lengths back. So they need to figure out a way to pick up the pace and stay on the lead lap for the next 13 laps. We should see a scheduled caution and then the 5-minute break coming up here at lap 73. So need to figure out a way to keep the leader behind him for the next dozen laps or so, and they'll be able to stay on the lead lap. But Trevor Huddleston right now setting a very torrid pace. There's Joey East trying to work his way past Kenna Mitchell. All right, we understand that Stephen Blakesley has a report on Kenna Mitchell in that number 13. Stephen, what you got for us?
Well, for Kenna Mitchell, Kenna has a lot of experience here at Shasta Speedway, and that experience coming into play this evening. She's raced here in super late models, also a champion at Roseville's All-American Speedway with 2 championships there in a pro late model. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is who she has in her corner this weekend with Kyle Keller, a winner in the ARCA platform, winner at Tri-City in August, who just announced his own 3-race program with Nascimento Motorsports here in 2026. Not bad having Kyle Keller in your corner helping you here for your ARCA West debut. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Kyle Keller, a very talented young driver, now chasing the Cars Tour West Championship, and good to have him back with a limited run, and certainly will help young Kenna Mitchell. Kenna, a former Wendell Scott Award winner here in the NASCAR Touring Series over the course of the last couple of seasons, so a very talented young lady. I have a feeling that Michael Munoz and the team will get the damage banged out on that number 13 car and make an adjustment, trying to get her a little closer to the front of the field. Of course, that is the car that Tyler Rice won with here back in 2024. So that team knows how to get it done here. And there is that battle between the Nitro Motorsports teammates. And just as I surmised, there is Trevor Huddleston right on the back bumper. They've got about 5 more laps to go to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. Have to wonder how aggressive Trevor Huddleston's going to be with those two, as he's got enough breathing room between himself and Mason Massey that I don't think he has to be super aggressive with these two as we head into that break. But, anytime you can put a couple of good competitive cars a lap down, you're going to have to take it. So they're going to have a little bit of work to do to stay on the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, they are. They have the leader just breathing down their neck right now, and that's got to be a very unsettling feeling for these two drivers, knowing that we're rapidly approaching the halfway caution, but you take a look up in the rear view and you see the race leader right there. They're probably thinking, where the heck he come from? How in the world is he behind us already, as they continue to click laps off and work down the back straightaway. But yeah, as you mentioned, Huddleston playing a little nice right now. He's not pushing the issue yet because he's grown his lead over Mason Massey.
And Mia Lovell looking at the inside of David Smith in the 0-5. She's going to bring Julian DaCosta with her. There's the battle between Gavin Ray in the number 7, Robbie Keneally in the number 1. Of course, Joey Keneally, Robbie's younger brother. Robbie doing a good job in that number 1 car, sitting in the 7th position. There is Trevor Huddleston. Trevor tracking his way past David Smith. Don't know that he's going to get up there to those two Nitro Motorsports cars. So those two may luck out and find a way to stay on the tail end of the lead lap as we come to the lap 73 break. Ooh, look at that contact right there. Big time contact between Gavin Ray and Robbie Keneally as we come to the caution flag. Boy, Gavin really wanted to get up there and get past Robbie Keneally. And the caution flag could not be more well-timed for Robbie Keneally. I think there's some damage to the left side of that car. Wow, did not have that on my bingo card to see that type of racing come to the caution flag here.
And I'm not 100% sure, but it looked like Keneally may have had a tire going down or already flat as he sailed off into turn number 1. Just couldn't get that car to turn. But as you mentioned, saved by the caution. What a time for the caution to come out for Keneally, as that was some pretty physical racing off of turn 4. And yeah, as you mentioned, where did that come from? I mean, it looked like a pretty simple battle between the two. Maybe Gavin Ray thought otherwise as they worked off turn 4 right here. And yeah, Gavin got position underneath Keneally, and he just floored it coming off the corner, trying to take advantage of that inside run. Look at the spark showering out the back of Keneally going into turn 1.
Yeah, that's exactly what that looked to me, that Gavin just got on the gas hard there coming off of turn 4. That car pushed up, and he really banged hard off of Robbie Keneally there. And I think you're exactly right. I think Robbie's got some damage to that left front tire, so the caution flag could not be more well-timed. Very fortuitous caution flag there for Robbie Keneally and the Jans Racing team. So we'll get these cars stacked up behind the pace truck. We'll bring them down into the back pit area. We'll start the 5-minute clock, let them go to work. Now, these teams will have 8 tires to work with throughout the course of this event, which means they'll have the tires that they used in practice earlier today yet to go on this race car. So I would expect most of these teams will come down and change back to their practice tires. There you see they're leaving the racetrack. They're down in turns 1 and 2. As soon as the final car stops, we will start the 5-minute clock and let them get to work. Everybody will make their changes, whether that's tires, adjustments, adding fuel, whatever they need to do. And as long as they're back before the pace car rolls, they will retain their position on the racetrack. So 5-minute clock will start as soon as the final car comes to a stop. And while the teams do get set to perform their service, we're going to step away for a quick break. When we come back, we'll recap all the action in the back pits, reset the field, and get set for the final 100 laps here at Shasta Speedway. Stay with us. Much more to come here on ARCA Night in America live here on Flow Races. Pace truck back into the infield. We are just about set to go back racing. Just under 100 laps to go. Can Mason Massey take it to Trevor Huddleston on the restart? We're about to find out. Green flag back in the air. We're racing down into turn 1. Huddleston with the advantage on the brake.
Really good launch that time again by Mason Massey. He's going to hang tough on the right side. Washes up a little bit off turn 2. That'll allow for Huddleston to clear him. Massey's able to duck back to the bottom, and a great side-by-side battle for third into turn one.
Cole Denton using the outside of the racetrack. He's got the advantage over Hailie Deegan. Deegan not wanting to give it up. She wants to keep her teammate in sight. She's going to keep to the bottom side of the racetrack. Cole Denton using the outside lane to his advantage. He's going to take third position.
Right behind this battle for third is the battle that is side-by-side for fifth, or at least was, as Eric Johnson Jr. You saw him get loose in turn one. That allowed for Chapman to fly by as well as Gavin Ray. So the 5 of Eric Johnson Jr. loses a couple of spots by one little slip-up in turn one, but really from second to the 7th position, you can basically throw a blanket over top of them, Charlie. They are all packed together.
Andrew Chapman looking to better that career best finish that he picked up at All-American Speedway last September. Third place, his best career run so far. Right now, Chapman inside the top 5, putting some pressure on Hailie Deegan in that number 16 car. Chapman with a really strong performance so far on that second High Point Racing number 55.
He took a peek to the inside off the turn number 4, did Chapman, but he was unable to stay with Hailie Deegan on the left side of her machine, so he tucked back in line. As we go back to the Robbie Keneally machine, we saw him and Gavin Ray get tangled up coming off turn 4 to the halfway caution. They did a good job, that team did it, fixing the repairs on fixing the damage on the left side of that Ford, as he is going to work now on the back bumper of Eric Johnson Jr.
And the sparks still streaming off of those cars as they work their way down the backstretch. Again, a very, I don't want to say rough, but certainly a racing surface with a lot of character in it here at Shasta Speedway. There's the battle between Hailie Deegan and Andrew Chapman to the inside. Chapman going to throw the right front fender. He's going to take fourth from Hailie Deegan.
He better get away and hide, because Hailie Deegan will not be afraid to return the favor, as now Chapman a little bit of a slip up in turn 2, and that allows for Hailie Deegan to close in, and then here comes Gavin Ray in that number 7. A great battle from 4th all the way back to 6th. 3 cars battling it out.
And that move by Andrew Chapman, throwing that right front fender there to take over that position, could be one of our Reese's sweet moves of the race. Log on to arcaracing.com Monday, 3 o'clock Eastern time, to see who has picked tonight's Reese's sweet move of the race winner.
Got a couple of good choices, a couple of good options that we have seen in this race, and then the options we saw in the ARCA East race as well. As there's that move again on the replay, and it's go time for all these drivers, and Chapman knows that. It is time to march forward, and there's no time to waste around, as these leaders up front continue to battle for second, keeping Huddleston within striking distance, but Trevor slowly tiptoeing away.
You have to wonder if Cole Denton was able to work his way past Mason Massey, if he would be able to get up there and track down Trevor Huddleston. I don't know that the 71 car is any quicker than Mason Massey is right now, but just something to keep in the back of your mind. I think as we get maybe to that 50 to go mark, I think we're going to see these drivers, if they have a car that's capable of, making those moves, I think it's going to be go time. I don't think you're going to have the option to, wait around any longer than, the lap 123 mark, because I think that we're going to be ticking these laps off at a pretty rapid rate. You're going to need to get going.
Robbie Keneally continuing to be a man on a mission right now, going to work on Eric Johnson Jr. And if he's able to complete this pass, he still will have a little bit of distance to get back up to him, but the next driver on the list would be Gavin Ray. We'll see if there's any retaliation from Eric Johnson Jr. Finished 3rd at Tucson. He's got 8 career top 5 finishes, and he's got some work to do to try to pick up number 9 before this one's all said and done with.
I know Eric's already got that race at Portland International Raceway circled on his calendar. Loves to get to turn left and right with us here in the ARCA Menards Series West. There's that race coming up a little bit later on in the season. Watch it live here on Flow Racing. There's a battle for position. Gavin Ray, we've seen Gavin get aggressive a couple of times already in this race. Saw him get a little wiggly loose underneath Hailie Deegan there just a moment ago. Moved Gavin Ray up into the 5th position.
tell you what, if Haley Deegan's car wasn't all black and had a little splash of yellow on it, I think we would be watching a replay of what we saw coming to the caution flag at the halfway point. That was almost identical to the move he pulled on Robbie Keneally. Just gassed it up coming off turn 4. Used up the left side of Haley Deegan's car and completes the pass. And Gavin Ray now into the 5th position. Nice top 5 run going for him so far.
And if he finishes in 5th, that would match his best career series finish set last time out at Tucson Speedway. And who knows? We got enough time. Maybe he can get up there and pick up another position or 2 before we're all said and done here at Shasta Speedway. So now 100 laps in the book, 73 yet to go here in the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173, presented by the West Coast Stock Car Motorsports Hall of Fame. Look at this battle for position. There's Eric Johnson Jr. We've got Robbie Keneally in the mix. Mia Lovell in the 15. 7th, 8th, and 9th up for grabs. Johnson Jr. up the racetrack. That's going to open the door for Robbie Keneally. He's going to bring Mia Lovell with him. So Eric Johnson Jr. going to give up perhaps a couple of positions here on this exchange.
And Mia Lovell, she is going as low as you possibly can go here at the bottom of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. She's nearly in the grass that meets the asphalt over here in 3 and 4 a lap ago, but she's got the inside position on Eric Johnson Jr. Battle for position. Johnson's got the advantage going into turn 1.
Of course, the Nitro Motorsports team fielding that entry, the number 15 for Mia Lovell, and Julian DaCosta in the number 25. Of course, Nick Tucker and Joe Tovo acquiring the assets of Venerini Motorsports. Billy Venerini still very involved in the race team. As a matter of fact, Billy coming to all of the West Series races to oversee this program with Mia Lovell and Julian DaCosta. So a lot of continuity in that program from where it was under the Venerini Motorsports banner. And right now, their 2 young drivers both having pretty solid runs. Mia Lovell up in the 8th position. There's Julian DaCosta back in 12th.
There's a look at the race leader and the man that has led every single lap so far here tonight. Finished 3rd in this race a year ago. The only driver to have 3 top 5 finishes in 2026 in the ARCA Menards West Series. And he is trying to defend his championship from a year ago. He's off to a good start as he has got those 3 top 5s as mentioned, but he would love to pick up win number 1. And boy, he's got a fast Ford underneath him tonight.
Lap times pretty consistent throughout the top 5. Everybody in the 16.9 to 17.1 bracket, just kind of depending on who is battling with who. And we'll send it back to pit road. Stephen Blakesley, what you got for us?
Well, we got the 88 car, the Beast, Joey East. He's out of the race for Make Motorsports with a broken transmission, but I want to speak to that Ford in second, the 71 of Cole Denton. You guys heard in our pre-race interview, we talked about his limited stock car experience. Well, not only does he only have 4 career starts from the ARCA Menards Series West, he has less than 10 career stock car starts total, and that includes junior late models and pro late models as well. So he has been a rapid study coming out of the NX Legends, very similar to that number 7 of Gavin Ray, who also basically skipped the late models altogether to join this ARCA West platform, and both young drivers have been finding quite a bit of success.
Yeah, Cole Denton trying to reel in Trevor Huddleston. Gap hasn't really changed too much between Cole Denton. He has driven away. We postulated that he might be able to drive away from Mason Massey, but the question that we had was, would he be able to reel in Trevor Huddleston? And right now, kind of hard to determine whether or not he's making up any ground or not on our leader, Trevor Huddleston. Coming to 60 laps to go, so 113 in the book, 60 to go here at Shasta Speedway.
And you see Trevor Huddleston, he was in that camera shot. He is about to catch a gaggle of lap traffic, and as this run gets longer, everybody's tires beginning to wear out more and more, their equipment beginning to be abused. One miscue by Trevor, if he gets hung up in lap traffic, catches a lap machine at the wrong part of the racetrack, could really kill his momentum. And This is such a rhythm track, and if you get out of your rhythm, it can take you 5 or 6 laps to get back into that rhythm just because of how quickly things happen here.
And talk about happening quickly. There is Gavin Ray sideways on the racetrack. Gavin was sitting in the 5th position when this trouble happened. And you saw leader Trevor Huddleston pass by. So Gavin Ray going to go from 5th to a lap down just like that.
That is unfortunate to say the least for Gavin Ray. He had a very strong run going for him. Had some contact with Bobby Keneally earlier before the third caution flew. Had some contact with Haley Deegan, but was able to solidify a position inside the top 5 and now sits idle coming off of turn number 2. And we'll have to wait and see exactly what happened to the 7 Toyota for Gavin Ray, but I'm not sure, Charlie, if he can get that car rolling again because he's had a long time of just sitting there and the car is not firing.
Well, while we try to figure out what happened to Gavin Ray, we'll step away for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get everybody lined up and get set back to race to the finish here at Shasta. Check the listings for that action coming up here tomorrow afternoon. Coming back to green, Trevor Huddleston and Cole Denton up on the front row. Green flag back up. Let's see what happens into turns 1 and 2.
Cole Denton hanging tough on the right side of the Huddleston machine. They're going to stay side by side. Going into turn 3, Huddleston's got the advantage. Denton's still there off turn 4. They drag race back to turn 1.
Cole Denton not wanting to give up any ground in that outside groove, but I tell you what, Trevor Huddleston in that preferred lane down on the bottom. That car, all he's got to do is hit his marks, and it's just a matter of time. And right there, exactly that. He's going to clear Cole Denton, and now let's see if he's able to stretch out that advantage. I think Cole Denton's still going to be pretty aggressive in that 71 car. Cole trying to keep Trevor Huddleston in his sights.
44 laps to go, this time by across the line. If Cole Denton can get back to the back bumper, does he use the front bumper to move Huddleston up the racetrack? But right now, the issue for Denton is closing that gap you see on your screen. Huddleston again, just smooth and calm, pulling away with the race lead.
You got to catch him to move him, and right now that is the problem that Cole Denton is going to have. He has got to get to that back bumper before he can nudge that number 50 car up the racetrack. And I'll tell you what, we talked about what's going to happen when we get to that final 50 laps. It's going to be go time, and it is go time for Trevor Huddleston. He is driving it like he stole it. That 50 car looking really strong here inside the final 50 of the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173.
Further back, a good battle here, side by side, down the back straightaway as you have the 77 machine and the 25 machine, 77 of Salinas, and now this 25 underneath, and that's DaCosta as they continue to lean on one another going in turn 1.
Alonzo Salinas making his 2nd career start in that number 77 for Joe Nava. Alonzo currently scored back in the 12th position. Julian DaCosta 1 lap ahead. That not a battle for position. Salinas 1 lap down to Julian DaCosta. So DaCosta still holding on to the final spot in the top 10. There's a look at Cole Denton picking up the win. Last time out at Tucson Speedway. Trying to go back to back. Going to have his work cut out for him here over the course of the final 39 laps. He still has to find a way to get his make his way past Trevor Huddleston in that number 50. Huddleston has been on a rail all night long, and he has driven away now 1 second, a full 1 second lead over Cole Denton in 2nd place.
And what a job well done by Trevor Huddleston on that restart. That was probably the biggest threat that he has had all night when the green flag went back in the air, and he was able to outlast Cole Denton, take away the number 1 spot where he's been all night long, and he continues to lead, now coming to 36 laps to go. Want to give one quick shout out to Robbie Keneally. Oh, we got problems on the racetrack, and good recovery by Keneally to get back inside the top 5, but this may bring out another caution.
Tough break for Julian DaCosta in that number 25, and indeed the yellow caution lights blinking around the speedway. Well, that will set up what could be another final restart here in the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173, but a tough break for Julian DaCosta in that 25. It has been a very star-crossed season for this young man so far.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage, if any, on that Nitro Motorsport Toyota, so maybe a power issue for DaCosta. It's come rolling to a stop at the top of turn number 3. But nonetheless, this is going to give Cole Denton another opportunity. Lessons can be learned from that last restart. Did he learn enough to hang tougher this time with Trevor Huddleston and maybe take away that race lead?
Joe Contreras overseeing the field from the starter stand, still has the yellow flag in hand. He's got it furled up, so next time around we will get the green flag and hopefully race it to the finish. We'll come to complete lap 147. So my math tells me we're gonna have, what, 26 laps-ish to go when we come back to the green.
It's gonna be a fun 26 laps at that as well.
I just want to double check that because I did not get that right earlier tonight. All right, Trevor Huddleston coming back to green. He's got Cole Denton to his outside. Cole was very aggressive on that last restart. Let's see what happens down in turn 1 this time. Can Mason Massey, the 19 car, back in the mix? Massey trying to give Huddleston a shove through turns 1 and 2. All that did was shove Huddleston out in front of the fray.
I think Mason Massey wanted to kind of root and gouge Huddleston up the racetrack, but as you mentioned, I think that helped Huddleston more than anything. And now the 71 of Denton able to get to the bottom of the racetrack, so Mason Massey can't even take away the second position, as we have a couple of very good side-by-side battles just inside the top 10.
Got a hornet's nest brewing outside the top 5. There's Eric Johnson Jr. battling with Haley Deegan. Kenna Mitchell going at it with Mia Lovell. Mia all over the back bumper of Kenna Mitchell down the backstretch.
What a move there by Kenna Mitchell to slide in front of Lovell coming off of the corner. That battle, though, is not over, and then right in front of them, they kind of get sorted out as Eric Johnson Jr. gets around Haley Deegan, but Lovell back to the inside of Kenna Mitchell off turn 2, although she slips up a little bit off of the corner.
Yeah, Mia had a big handful of steering wheel there off of turn 2, gave up a couple of car lengths there to Kenna Mitchell off of that second corner. This is one of the best battles on the racetrack right here. These two have been going at it much of the night. Eric Johnson Jr. and Haley Deegan in that number 16. Deegan would like to get her way back up into the top 5. She's fallen back into 7th, but she has spent a bulk of the night up in the 3rd, 4th, 5th position range, and right now she's given up a couple of positions here on this restart.
Yeah, not sure what has gone wrong with the Haley Deegan machine as the race has gone on, but as you mentioned, she had a solid run going, was running in 3rd for a majority of this race, but as the laps have continued to click off and the restarts have continued to happen, she falls further and further down the leaderboard outside the top 5, running in 7th. But Trevor Huddleston, he outlasts the 71 of Denton yet again. Is that the last restart that we will see tonight? Huddleston sure hopes so. Denton would love one more opportunity at the number 50, and I don't know if he's going to be able to track them down or run them down in these final 18 laps.
Alonzo Salinas battling with Tyler Tomasi. Those two battling for the 10th position. Alonzo Salinas in that number 77 for Joe Nava. Ooh, Tyler Tomasi almost giving him the chrome horn there off into turn 3. Good battle for the final spot in the top 10. Just 17 laps to go for Trevor Huddleston. He has opened up 1.7 seconds over Cole Denton in 2nd. Mason Massey, Andrew Chapman, and Robbie Keneally. It has been an adventurous night for Robbie Keneally, but boy, he is showing a lot of perseverance and grit here tonight, racing his way back up into the 5th position.
As the roller coaster ride continues, as you were just alluding to, started 4th and he fell nearly outside of the top 10 just off the first couple of restarts, had that contact with Gavin Ray, and now somehow has worked comfortably back into the 5th position. as this battle is not over just quite yet either. Eric Johnson Jr. in the number 5. He's got a mirror full of Haley Deegan in that number 16. They continue to work about a half a car length of separation between the two through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway.
This the battle for 6th. Don't forget, folks, coming up May 23rd, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, ARCA Menards Series West at Colorado National Speedway. That'll be the next ARCA Menards Series platform race live here on Flow Racing. Trevor Huddleston stretching out that advantage, looking for his first win of 2026. He is just about a dozen laps away from driving it back to victory lane.
And as you just talked about, the next time that we see the ARCA Menards Series West Series on track, what a weekend that is of racing. If you're a motorsports fan, Memorial Day weekend is definitely the weekend for you. A lot of action to tune in for that weekend. But right now, the only thing that Trevor Huddleston is worried about, he's not worried about the next time they're on track. He still has 10 laps to go here at Shasta Speedway, trying to bring it home in a dominating performance, but still, anything can happen in these now final 9 laps.
You have to know he is hearing every noise inside of that race car. The team led by crew chief Jeff Schrader just trying to keep him focused on hitting those marks. Be smooth. Don't do anything outside of the norm that you've been doing all night long. Keep doing what got us here. Don't get out of that rhythm. And just a couple of minutes away from perhaps his 10th career ARCA Menards Series West victory.
He doesn't have to worry about anything out the back. He has gapped the 71 of Cole Denton, and he is now going to have an open racetrack, or nothing but open racetrack in front of him. We go further back inside the top 5. This is the ongoing battle for 3rd. Mason Massey has it. Andrew Chapman in that 55 wants it.
Mason Massey with a good rebound after that disappointing finish outside the top 10 at Tucson. Of course, trying to play the tire conservation game just right, and unfortunately just kind of mistimed it a little bit. Saved the tires, actually saved a little bit too long, and by the time it was go time for that number 19 team, there weren't enough laps left for him to get back up to the front of the field. So Mason had to settle for a finish outside the top 10, but a great rebound here tonight at Bill McAnally Racing number 19 team. There is another look at Trevor Huddleston, now just 5 laps to go here in the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173. He has got a significant, comfortable lead over Cole Denton in second, 1.7 seconds the advantage over the 71 of Cole Denton. Of course, Cole went to victory lane last time the ARCA Menards Series West went to battle at Tucson Speedway. Working his way down the backstretch, Trevor Huddleston coming to 2 to go. You've seen Trevor pick up early season victories at his home racetrack, Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway, the last couple of years, coming to 2 to go this time around.
He continues to just be flawless, easy on the pedal, coming off the corner. You don't see the rear end wanting to step out, continuing to have a solid run as the white flag goes in the air. Final lap for Trevor Huddleston.
Clean and green down the back straightaway, no pressure at all for Trevor Huddleston as he works his way off of the final corner. Checkered flag in the air. Give it to Trevor Huddleston, winner here at Shasta Speedway. Cole Denton coming across in second. Mason Massey picking up the 3rd position. Andrew Chapman and Rami Keneally rounding out the top 5, but another dominant performance here at Shasta Speedway for Trevor Huddleston.
Trevor Huddleston, 2 times in a row, he's going to start to follow level Shasta Speedway.
What an impressive performance. First, we saw Max Reeves dominate down at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and another dominant performance here tonight for Trevor Huddleston, number 50.
And the path to continuing to defend his championship in the ARCA Menards Series West from a year ago continues. He has now finished inside the top 5 in the first 4 races, came in with the points lead, and you certainly know that he's going to be leaving here with the points lead as well. Definitely going to grow it going into Colorado. Big win tonight for Trevor Huddleston, and he's about to burn it down on the front straightaway.
You know, we've always seen a very interesting victory lane whenever Trevor parks it down in the winner's circle. We saw him get engaged one time down in victory lane.
That,
You have to wonder what we're in store for here tonight. And, of course, a lot of those antics in victory lane come with his father, Tim Huddleston, on the microphone. Of course, Tim not the PA announcer here tonight. So could be a really calmer victory lane for Trevor here tonight.
And the other trend I noticed too, he either burns it to the ground or he doesn't burn it at all, and tonight he's opting to just pull it right into the staging area for victory lane.
And I see Stephen Blakesley, who is he's going to get the might have set the track record from back pit area to victory lane. He's got those long legs. I'll give him, he's got the advantage on the step count there for sure. Doesn't have to take as many strides as the rest of us, but Stephen Blakesley heading down into victory lane, and we'll get Trevor Huddleston up and out of the race car and hear from tonight's winner, trackside with Stephen here momentarily.
Well, the 2-time series champion is a winner in the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173. Trevor Huddleston victorious here at Shasta Speedway. Trevor, you climbed the mountain to the top here at Shasta Speedway as a winner after a couple of podium finishes. I want to ask you what it means to have a 2-time champion win the race in honor of a 4-time champion. This is special.
Yeah, what an amazing event. The track promoters did a great job. We had a great crowd tonight. Awesome racetrack, super fun event. Super cool to have the 173 Memorial. I mean, that's really cool. I love special things like that with the break at lap 73. But man, these wins are hard to come by, and I can't thank my entire crew over here. We have so many people too that I want to thank. I want to take the time to thank. I have a lot of family, and it's pretty special to me that they're all around the parts of the United States watching. So my mom, my dad, my brother is here, my sister, my grandparents, my beautiful wife, and her mother-in-law, my mother-in-law. Man, this is awesome, you know. This place is an awesome racetrack. Like you said, we've had a lot of podiums, and just to get it done, I got to really thank Race Car Factory. They're a partner of ours with High Point Racing. Jeff Schrader, Keith Herron, they're some bad boys, and they hooked us up tonight. And man, thank you guys. Thanks to all the fans for coming out. I hope we put on a good show for you. Remember, we do this all for you guys, and without you guys, we can't do it. So we really appreciate it, and hope everyone at home had a good night on ARCA night. That's pretty cool.
So you had a little bit of pressure there from Mason Massey in the first half, and your team was able to get on the radio and tell you, hey, you can get going. You don't have to conserve here, and you were able to drive away. How big of a statement was that for this 2026 season?
Oh, you know, it definitely puts a marker on it. You know, this is a lot of great competition this year. That's one of the amazing things about ARCA. It's thriving right now, and I'm super lucky to be a part of it. But yeah, like you said, I mean, Mason, Cole, Haley, my teammate Andrew, there was a lot of contenders tonight. So one mistake, and I know we had a good lead, but one mistake, and you never know. So we stayed on our toes, we stayed focused, and we just had to hit our marks. And now we get to go have some fun tonight, go celebrate with my team. There's going to be some beers in the future, and yeah.
What a great performance. Our 2-time champion is a winner of the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173 for Trevor Huddleston.
Congratulations, Trevor.
With our second place finisher tonight, the 15-year-old out of Mississippi, Cole Denton, here in the Bill Schmitt Memorial 173. And what a red-hot start for you guys in the ARCA Menards Series West and this 71 Jans racing team. We see the smile on your face. What does this mean?
It means a lot to be on the podium 2 weeks in a row. Last race got a win, so it's just a great race. Huddleston was second last race, so we just swapped. So that was a great race. I'm very happy with the podium, and second place is a big deal. So I'm just super thankful for Mr. Jan and Jan's Racing, Jan's Towing, my crew chief, Mr. Chris Greeny, my spotter, Mr. Ron Norman, the whole crew. They do an amazing job, and to be able to get a podium two races in a row, it's just awesome. And thank you to all the fans for coming out here. Thank you.
So you were behind Trevor Huddleston on a couple of restarts there, and of course he's the points leader, the defending champion. What did you see there that you can improve upon for the rest of the year?
Just watching him and following his line. There's a few little things that I learned from him, and we'll be able to put it forward to Colorado just to run those things that I learned from him. So it's great to be up here and battling these drivers. They're so great.
Well, a young driver all the way from Mississippi runs in second, Cole Denton here at the Bill Schmitt Memorial. We'll get down here to our third place finisher. Tonight we go from a Mississippi driver to a Georgia driver. Our Kern County winner in 2026, Mason Massey, coming home in third. And for a moment there, you were right on the back bumper of Trevor Huddleston in the first half. What else did you guys need in the second half?
I just felt like I lost drive getting off the corner. I don't have my voice right now, sorry, but I just lost drive getting off the corner. Able to get in fine. Able to roll the middle okay. Just didn't have drive. Like the 71 was really good off the corner, and the 50 was too. But thankful to Napa and all of our partners for helping us out. It's a fun racetrack. Just wish we could have done a little better.
Well, what does it say about how strong this team is and the start for your season that perhaps a day where you wish you had a little bit more is still a third place day?
I mean, it says a lot. These guys work super hard. And I mean, everyone at BMR, everybody does a great job. Just super proud to drive for this team. And we'll keep digging and hopefully get them next time.